Okay. Whew. That was a process. I don't know if there's anyone here. Okay. I like can't believe how hard it's going right now. It's depressing. Hello. Hello, hello. I kinda wanna show you guys outside.
It's so bad.
Okay. Look at what we're dealing with here.
Help.
Isn't that crazy? Okay. Thanks for coming to boot camp again. Hopefully this is my setup completely fell over like 5 minutes before this, so hopefully we're good. Okay. We're gonna start with a quick warm up. Obviously, like, feel free before you join into these like virtual workouts to like go for a run or a bike ride. Obviously, we're not doing that today. We biked inside because we have indoor bikes, but I know that everybody doesn't have access to that, so we're just gonna do a quick little like stretch and warm up to get started. Go ahead and roll those shoulders. Give me like 5 shoulder rolls back and 5 forward. And then extend those arms out. Do 3 big arm circles backwards and 3 forwards. And then go ahead and do the same thing with your ankles. Roll those ankles 5 on each side. I don't know why you would need to roll your ankles for this, but it feels good. Yeah, it feels good. And then go ahead and step to the back of whatever space you're working in. And we're going to take it into some inchworms. We're just going to do 3. So you hinge at the hips, walk those hands out into a high plank, take a breath here, and then walk it back up. Get a nice stretch in your hamstrings. It activates your core and your shoulders. Make sure you keep those knees nice and soft. You never want to lock your legs or your arms. I'm really bad about locking my arms because my arms like hyperextend, but just try your best. Make sure you're breathing. And then when you get to the top of that last inchworm, just kind of hang out here for a second. Really stretch those legs out. And then come in to the middle of your space. And we're going to do 15 jumping jacks. And then go ahead and give me 16 high knees. And then take a nice big deep breath. Make sure you have water nearby. Today we have 3 circuits. Upper body, upper body, lower body, and abs. The first 2 circuits, upper body and lower body, are sets of 3 exercises, and then abs is 5 sets. I was really sick this week, so I kind of just want to like take it easy on the arm and leg stuff. So we're going to go ahead and start with 10 push-ups. We're going to do these circuits twice, by the way. I'm going to do modified push-ups, but you can go ahead and take it into a high plank. Do as many as you can up there, and then drop down to modified. So go ahead and give me 10. Three more. And then we're going to take that into tricep dips. Those were really good. Here's where I have a friend here doing this with me, so encouragement. Take it into a reverse tabletop. We've done these before. And you're just going to give me 10. Make sure those shoulders are nice and relaxed. When I do tricep dips, I like to find a point kind of like diagonally in front of me on the ceiling so I can keep my chin and my chest lifted so I don't end up curled up in a ball. It's not good for your neck. And then we're going to take it into a high plank, and we're going to do shoulder taps. If you have a hard time keeping a high plank, you can just keep this in a tabletop or in a modified push-up position. I'm going going to take it to a high plank. You're going to do 20 shoulder taps. Try not to move your hips. I think that's funny. And same thing with those. Find a spot like maybe like a foot in front of you to focus on so you're not bending your neck too much or arching your back. And then we're gonna move into the leg circuit. So go ahead and stand up. You have 10 controlled, nice deep squats. Spread those feet out. You want your chest lifted nice and high, and your butt should be coming down like you're sitting on a little tiny stool behind you. So give me 10. Make sure you squeeze those glutes at the top. And then we're gonna go into lunges. You have 20, so you can do forward lunges, reverse lunges, static lunges, 10 on each side. I think I'm gonna do static lunges today, but feel free to walk it back and forward as you want to. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do 10 on each side. Make sure you're pushing up through that working leg. Back leg comes to 90 degrees. Chest stays nice and tall. And then if you did the static lunges, go ahead and switch sides. And then we're gonna go into narrow squat toe taps. So get into a narrow squat position like this. If you have a band, feel free to use that. I'm gonna do it without. You're gonna pop into a narrow squat, and you're just gonna tap your toe out. You have 20. Make sure you're trying not to move, staying nice and tall. Nice and low. 10 more. Go ahead and stand up, take a breath. We're gonna go into the ab circuit. So in the other two circuits you had 3 exercises, the ab circuit is 5. So we're gonna start with crunches. Plant those feet in front of you. Go ahead and lay back on your mat. Arms can come behind your head like this, up on your chest like this, by your sides like this. Just make sure that your chest is what's lifting and not your head and your neck. You're gonna give me 10 crunches. You want that lower back to stay planted on the ground, and you want your chest to be lifting towards where like the ceiling meets your wall, if that makes sense. So then we're gonna go into heel toe crunches. So for these, your legs come up to 90 degrees, your head and your chest stay up off the ground. You're gonna reach for your knees and then your feet, and that's 1 rep. So we're gonna do 10. So 10. Again, that chest should be lifting up, not your head and your neck doing the work. Then we're gonna go into dead bugs, so you're gonna do 20 total. Go ahead and make sure you have enough room in front of you that your legs can go out straight, and enough room behind you that your arms can, go back and forth. So you're gonna come into a reverse tabletop position like this. One arm is gonna go back while the opposite leg drops to the floor, like this. And the goal is to keep the leg and arm that aren't moving completely still. So you're gonna do 20 total, alternating sides. Keep that back nice and flat on the floor. Halfway through. If you hear an obnoxious popping sound, that's just my hip trying to leave my body. Don't worry about it. 3 more. You want to keep these nice and controlled. And then we're going to go into twists, so you can plant your feet on the ground. I like to keep my feet planted. You can also lift them off the ground. But you're going to sit like this, lean back a little bit, so you're putting a little bit of tension on those core muscles. And you're just going to bring your hands side to side like you're doing a Russian twist with a weight. So you're going to do 20 total. If you want to make this a little bit more difficult, you can lift the opposite leg up like this. That'll engage your obliques a little bit more. Or you can just keep your feet on the ground. Make sure you're leaning back and breathing, using these obliques to twist, not your shoulders. 2 more. And then lastly, we're going to do side to side plank. So you're going to come into a plank position, a low plank. You want to make sure that core is nice and engaged, really strong. So get into a good plank. You're going to lift your butt up just a little bit so you give your hips open up enough to twist. And you're just going to go ahead and twist side to side like this. If you're not able to do that, just hold a plank. You have 20 of these. Make sure your shoulders are staying in one position. I like to think like I'm drawing a little semicircle with my hips. All right, so take a breather, grab some water, and then we're gonna do those circuits again. Yeah, really good. How am I sweating when it's snowing outside? So we're just gonna go back into those push-ups. I'm like a little bit embarrassed about my push-ups compared to yours. Those are really good. So again, try not to let those elbows, like I said, mine look absolutely ridiculous because they're hyperextend. So go ahead, give me 10 push-ups. And then we're gonna go into those tricep dips. If you want and you have like a table or something behind you, imagine if I lost one of these pieces. Doing a 1,500 piece puzzle. If you have a surface like this, you can do them on there too. I'm gonna do them on this table, but you can just do them on the mat like we did last time. You just set 10. And then we're just going to take it down into those shoulder taps. So again, get into a high plank. Make sure that core is engaged, which means you're bringing your ribs towards your hip bone to really engage that core, and you have 20. The transfer of weight should only be happening through your hands. You shouldn't be wiggling side to side. And then we're going to take it into the leg circuit. 10 squats. If you want, you can do any squat variation that you would like to. You can take it into a sumo squat. If you have some weights, you can use those. I'm just going to do regular squats. Again, make sure that chest is nice and high. You have 10. Really squeeze those glutes to get the most out of it. When you're doing just body weight exercises, it's really important that your form is really good. That's how you're going to get the most out of it. And then go into whatever lunge variation you chose to do. Again, I'm going to go into those static lunges. So I'm just going to drop straight down, 10 on each side, or 20 alternating if that's what you decide to do. And then go ahead and switch if you're in those static lunges. Nope, that's the same foot. Really squeezing through that working leg. And then we're going to go into those toe taps. So go ahead and drop into that narrow squat. Hands are in front of you. Again, if you have a band and you want to use a band, go ahead and do that. You have 20. The lower you can stay and the further back in your heels you can stay, the more this is going to burn, which is a good thing. And then we're going to go into that ab circuit. So, 10 crunches. Plant those feet. Get a comfortable distance away. Chest towards the edge of your ceiling. You have 10. I like to keep my arms like this because it makes me think of like pulling my shoulders up to the sky, which helps me engage my core. But put your hands wherever you want. And then heel toe crunches. I don't know, is it heel toe crunches or knee toe? I think it's knee toe crunches. I don't know, whatever. Same thing we did last time. Reverse tabletop, those arms come out in front of you. You reach for your feet and then to your knees. You have 10. If you're doing those right, they hurt. And then dead bugs. You have 20. So making sure, again, your core is engaged. You don't want to feel any space between your back and the floor. Arms come up, and opposite leg and opposite hand. Nice and slow, you have 20. If you have a ball at home, like a workout ball, I like to do these with like holding a workout ball right here. Forces me to engage my core a lot. You lost count. Thank you. Three more. Last one. And then twists. Again, if you want to make it a little harder, extend the opposite leg of the side that you're twisting to. I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it, but let's see what I'm doing. So go ahead and lean back 45 degrees and twist. You have 20. Make sure those shoulders stay nice and relaxed. Five more. And then last thing is those side to side planks. So come up into a nice, strong plank position. Your butt is going to be elevated a little bit so you can make that semicircle shape. And you're just going to drop your hips to either side. You have 20 total. Nice. Okay. So if you feel like that wasn't enough for you, go ahead and do another circuit. But we're going to stretch it out because we're out of time. So go ahead and sit those legs in front of you. Reach for your feet. I like to think of bringing my chest down to my knees. So go ahead and fold over, grab onto those feet. Take a couple nice deep breaths. I'm not flexible, but I have short legs, so I can like grab the bottom of my feet. And then bring those feet in for a butterfly stretch. Drop those knees to the ground, but don't force it. Just kind of pull those feet in. Sit up nice and tall. You can roll your neck if you want. And then we're going to take it up through a reverse inchworm. So into that high plank position. Walk those hands up until you get to your toes. And just hang there for a second. Make sure those knees are nice and soft. When you're ready, roll up nice and slow. We're going to take an arm stretch. So go ahead and cross one arm in front of your body, like this. The further away you are from your shoulder, the bigger of a stretch you get. That was like, had a hard time coming out of my mouth. And then go ahead and switch. Do a couple arm circles, a couple forward, and a couple back, finishing off where we started. Thanks for coming to boot camp, guys, and I will see you on Monday. All of these videos are uploaded to YouTube after we're done filming them. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.